Okay, so now that we've talked about unit rate and we've also done predictions with unit rate, let's discuss unit rate specifically within a graph. So we're going to first look at our CFS and read the problem and annotate. So it says to find the unit rate for this graph. Okay, so I know the unit rate means for one of something, so we need to figure out what that is. And the second part is telling us to box the ratio that is presented in the problem in blue. So I know that we are talking about two different things, and that is soccer balls and price. So just labeling again Y and X. Then for step 3, they want us to identify the unit rate in the graph in green. So I know that if I'm looking at for one of something, I want to find the point that crosses exactly in the corner of each square in the grid. And in this case, I see a point here, 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 so on and so forth. But I'm going to look at the first point where I see 1 in the X and 6 on the Y. And so we're going to be able to just write that final answer in red using the labels of what it's talking about. So for one soccer ball, because 1 is on the X and soccer balls is the label, it costs $6 because dollars is the label on the Y. Awesome. So that's pretty straightforward, seeing how we identify that within a graph. We know that it's straight line and we know that it's proportional because it goes through 0, 0. But now let's look at a different situation where we have to discuss a graph and unit rate. Okay, so looking at this test question, a water hose discharges water at a rate of 45 gallons per minute. Which graph best represents this rate? So we've read it. I'm going to go ahead and annotate that we are looking for which graph best represents this unit rate that we're discussing. Then it says to box the ratio that is presented in the problem. So I see gallons per minute. All right, well, now if we're going to identify the unit rate in the graph, we need to see for 45 gallons, it is 1 minute of time. Okay, so let me make sure I have green. So I see on this graph at 1, this graph hits at 45, and I see that the time in minutes is the X, and the amount of water is the Y. So remember, Y depends on X. Okay, so far that looks good. And then here on H, I see 1 is 45 at 45 on the Y, and the time and the amount of water also matches, but this isn't proportional, right? It's not increasing, it's just staying in a straight line, so that can't be right. Then if we look at G, I see 1 and 15, so for 1 minute, it's 15 gallons of water, which does not match our rate of 45 gallons in 1 minute, so let's cross that out. And then the last one at 1, it hits 60 gallons of water, which again does not match our 45 gallons for 1 minute, so we need to cross that out as well, leaving us with F. So our answer, we could say in red, like our support, is graph F matches the unit rate of 45 gallons per minute. Remembering to check both the Y and the X labels on the axis with the specific unit rate that we should be finding within the graph, looking for 1 on the X and then 45 on the Y. We're going to go ahead and try one on our own.